Hello and thanks for tuning in to another instalment of Going Bush, the program about Australia's always changing, ever-evolving forest industry.
Nick, it's the pace of change that's on the agenda today, plus plenty more. We hope you enjoy Going Bush. This one.
And off you go. In Andrew's case, you hope there's a large and aggressive tiger snake not far away. The heartland, Andrew, of the state's native timber production. You no longer have people standing out in the bush able to be getting hit by trees. Never felt safer in my life, Andrew.
Going bush, going bush, going bush.
There is an eye in the sky. Oh, this is going to end well.
In today's show, we head back to school and look at a new tool for teaching the lessons of sustainability. Cross the T's and dot the I's to produce a forest practices plan and go high-tech in the high country. All right, straight into it. We find ourselves in Victoria's Central Highlands, an area which has had a rich and proud forestry history. Just look at this. This is forestry of yesteryear. That was a big tree. Can you imagine climbing up there and using a saw and an axe to knock down that?
Eventually, one gets you. Thankfully, times have moved on to a very large degree here in the forest. And now, Andrew, it's time to put under the microscope, I guess, the technological advances being made here in Victoria's forests.
The timber industry in Victoria can trace its heritage back more than 150 years, and over time there have been countless innovations to make it safer and more efficient. The axe has made way for the chainsaw, the bullock team for the skidder, and in very recent times there's been another revolution in the bush. So it's not ye olde days anymore, no matter what type of forestry you're talking about. It's all becoming much more streamlined.
It certainly is. This is one of the more recent rollouts.
Yes.
This is not laser tag.
Don't point at me.
It is a thing called SEG, which is a barcoding system for logs. Basically turns the entire forest into a supermarket, if you like. And I am the checkout chick of the bush. For as long as anyone can remember, the system of accounting for what comes out of the forest has been the ubiquitous log docket, a hand-written manifest filled in by the log truck driver in rain, hail or shine as the truck was loaded. It was a system that stood the test of time, but ultimately turned up a few errors along the way.
Anytime people were handwriting dockets, you had room for error, whether it was in the writing down of the data or even in the interpretation of it, because things in a bush environment, it's not easy to use a pen and paper in the wet and the sun and the dust sometimes, so we often had a lot of trouble with collecting data in that manner.
That unreliable data had to be hand-copied and re-entered several times down the line. With the new SEG system, logs are measured and graded only once, and from then on, all the relevant info is easily and quickly available by scanning the barcode.
All right, so these ones are ready to go at the back?
Yep, they're ready to go. Just got to be scanned.
Mick McKinnell of M&R Timber Harvesting was one of the first contractors in Victoria to trial the new system and rates it as a welcome inventory management improvement.
Once we've gone live, completely live, it gives us the opportunity to then pull that data back out of SEG to give us that real-time information on the volumes we've shifted per grade, per class, how much we still have to shift on our monthly allocations, so that we don't oversupply or undersupply, so we can give the customer exactly what they want.
The other big benefit is safety. Before SEG, log truck drivers would be in the dangerous loading zone, filling out the log docket and hammering ID tags into each log before they went on the truck.
The scanners have a reach of up to 8 metres in daylight, so you won't have to get as close to that log, which is any time you can separate heavy machinery from people is a huge advantage from an OH&S perspective.
So what we put into our SEG gun is all the properties of this log. We've got length, we've got diameter, we've got species, and all of that is then found within this barcode, which is scanned here and then scanned on the truck.
So when the truck is loaded, the driver goes through the relatively simple process of scanning each log to determine what's in fact on the truck, and then as it leaves this site, that information is instantly relayed to Vic Forests, who knows what's left the coop, and it's also relayed to the mill, who know exactly what is coming.
That data transfer happens by way of wireless 4G modem, and when the load arrives at the Australian Sustainable Hardwoods Mill in Hayfield, the logs are scanned again to confirm their arrival, and even when they're out in the stacks, each log's origin and identity is instantly available.
The big advantage for us is being able to identify logs at any point in time. Previously, if a log got separated from its actual load, we would have to print out a list of all the log tags and look that particular log tag up against a whole huge manifest, a computer printout. Now, all we do is simply scan the log and we know we can identify it straight away.
All the timber produced from Victoria's state forests is internationally certified under the Australian Forestry Standard, and part of that process requires each step from the bush to the customer to be accounted for. It's a concept known as chain of custody.
Chain of custody is something that's really important to us and our customers, so if we can track that saw log from the time it leaves the landing by an individual barcode, it can be traced from the time it leaves the landing onto the truck to the customer, then into their stacks, and if they wish to adopt the technology to scan the logs themselves, they can do that. A lot of the bigger customers are barcoding their timber packs now so that they've got complete chain of custody from one end to the other. When they sell their packs, they can trace it right back to the log that it came from and the landing where we had it.
Still to come on Going Bush, the GPS safety net helping foresters make it home safely, plus the detailed planning that helps identify the hidden treasures in our bush.